Please be advised that this video is for the sole purpose of entertainment. Any views are purely my own, are subjective and may not necessarily be true. I do, however, do extensive research for all of my videos. All photos have been found on the public domain. I am using them under the fair use and fair dealing guidelines. I urge everybody to do their own research. Well, hello, it's Murky Meg here. It's Saturday the 25th of July and it seems like all publications this morning have been flooded with extracts from the Finding Freedom Harry and Meghan Making the Modern Monarchy book. I've read a few snippets and it seems extremely sycophantical. Not sure yet whether or not Harry and Meghan have put any input into this book or had anything to do with it. But very interestingly, I asked this on Twitter and Queen Vic said indirectly, yes, she did me a little snippet of a screenshot and this is what it said. But there was little time to dwell. Just a few hours after leaving Canada House, a story about their plans to stay in Canada broke. Details were missing, but it was clear that somebody within the palace had briefed the newspaper. A royal source absolutely denied the charge of blaming the couple for the leak because they were frustrated at the palace. In the talks that were going on, they wanted to force the decision to break it open. The couple deny this claim. Now, if they deny that claim, that means that they have spoken to the authors and said that didn't happen. To deny this claim, they have had to have involvement of some sort. I do have to do a little caveat at this particular moment. If you hear a little tinkling, I'm sorry, it's Albie, my dog. I've given him a pig's ear and I really shouldn't have. It was supposed to keep him quiet, but to be perfectly honest, it's made him more noisy. Anywho, on with the video. The first snippet to come out was late last night, and the Daily Mail reported that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle were jealous of William and Kate getting the best roles and didn't feel supported by royals and Viper courtiers who feared they would eclipse the Queen's popularity, the biography claims. Now, I have several issues with this because the Queen is always the monarch. She should be the star of the show. Diana had this very problem. They were scared that Diana was going to be the most popular royal, that she was going to be the one that everybody adored, and that the Queen and Prince Charles had to do something about it, which is kind of like played out in history. We all know the story there. They didn't want her to become the most popular royal. The monarch is always going to be the lead of the show. And I would expect that there was an element of, they're new royals, they're young royals, they're a biracial couple, they can pull a lot of power, and they could have done a lot of good within the royal family. Unfortunately, as far as my opinions go, is that they wanted more. They wanted to be the star of the show. They wanted to be the ones that run the whole thing and get to call the shots. Unfortunately, as a spare, you don't get to do that. It seems that Harry and Meghan just couldn't understand that they are never going to be as important as William because he is a future monarch. And Kate, subsequently, she's going to be the Queen Consort, Prince Charles and Camilla, and of course, the Queen. When Catherine becomes Queen Consort, Carol and Michael Middleton may very well get titles of their own. Now, they are, of course, Catherine's parents, and they are the first grandparents in history of a future British monarch not to have any titles. For well over 1,000 years, all of the future kings and queens had grandparents with some kind of royal title. So there's a huge possibility when William becomes king that he in fact will grant Carol and Michael Middleton titles. Now, there has been a whole load of articles recently that I haven't even commented on because they are ridiculous, quite frankly, to say that Meghan wants her mother to have a title herself. Well, you should have stayed in the royal family, love, shouldn't you? And it's preposterous to even suggest that Doria should have a title because you are so far down the line of succession that it's just laughable. It seems extremely bizarre to me that Harry, who has been brought up within this institution, did not know this fact. And complaining that you didn't get the best roles that William and Kate did is just preposterous. It's juvenile and it's offensive, to be perfectly honest. They are the future king and queen consort. What do you expect? Did somebody not sit her down before all of this and explain that no matter how ambitious, how driven, or how much she wants it, she will never be queen consort and Harry will never be king? Yeah, I know sugars bleat on about, well, it could happen, technically, it could happen. No, loves, it won't. There seems to be an almighty drive to push victim mentality, and it just shows how incredibly entitled they think they are. Speaking of entitled, in this article it says, in a tearful remark to a friend, the Duchess of Sussex said she gave up her entire life for the family. Okay, I'm going to try and break this down for you, Meghan, because you knew what you were getting into. It would have been explained completely. That everything that you knew about life in Canada, if you wanted to marry Harry, you would have to give up. You knew that. But it seems to me that you gladly did give everything up for that title. The tiaras that you never really got to wear, did you? Only on your wedding day. And all the glitz and the glamour that you thought would be begifted to you, along with all the power in all the world. Didn't work out though, did it? You took that on board, and you would have been well briefed in what it entailed to become part of the royal family, I'm sure. You're actually accusing them of neglecting to tell you what it entails, and I think it was pretty clear in the engagement interview that you knew that fact, but you wanted to hit the ground running. It continues that then she had no choice but to quit, but adds she couldn't imagine wanting to set foot in anything royal again after Brexit. Well, do you know what, love? We don't want you either. Yet she's pretty adamant of her despise and hatred for Britain now, isn't she? Other extracts say that Harry felt unprotected by his family and disparaged within palace walls for being too sensitive and outspoken. But this is the thing though, isn't it, Harry? It was never like this prior to you meeting Meghan. Or maybe it was. I'm trying to play devil's advocate. Maybe he deeply felt this way and couldn't actually share it. And by meeting Meghan, it kind of opened up everything that he wanted to do. What do you all think? Did Meghan project those feelings and to make Harry feel like he needed to do this? Or were those feelings already there in the first place and it just opened up the floodgates? Did she whisper into his ear and said, we can run the world, we can be the ones that rule the entire royal family? Is that Meghan or Harry's doing? Apparently he believed that some of the old guard simply didn't like Meghan and would stop at nothing to make her life difficult. Victim mentality. I'm bored of that one, quite frankly. Again, it says that senior courtiers in other households have felt that the global popularity of the Sussexes needed to be reined in. You cannot outclips the monarch. It's an absolute no-no. Why would Harry want to do that to his grandmother anyway, that he supposedly loved? It then also says that Meghan's relationship with the Duchess of Cambridge, i.e. Catherine, was so frosty that at their final engagement in March, Kate refused to even make eye contact with her sister-in-law. Well, that was the Commonwealth Day, wasn't it? When Harry and Meghan threw a massive paddy in a tantrum because they weren't walking in the procession behind the Queen, because they were leaving. Kate and William, who were already in the address, it had said that they will be walking with the Queen down to their seats, tried to keep the peace, tried to stop a meltdown happening, and said, do you know what, we won't do it either. They respected Harry and Meghan enough to withdraw from what they should be doing and their rightful places to make the peace and settle everything, to try and cause a nice, harmonious atmosphere. Also, they had just left. This humongous bombshell had happened over the past few months, and this was their last engagement with the royal family. I'd feel quite annoyed too if I was Catherine. She's just literally been dropped this massive bombshell that Harry and Meghan were leaving. Therefore, her and William now have to pick up the slack and do an extra load of work on top of the work that they already do. And they have 3 children. How else do you expect her to be? I'd be frosty if I was perfectly honest. I bet the book doesn't show that bit of the story, does it? I bet the book doesn't say that William and Catherine gave up their right to walk in the procession to appease Harry's tantrum. I bet that's not covered. It won't be, because this is an extremely biased, one-sided story that I cannot believe that they have not had any input whatsoever. If they haven't had any input, then they've had input via friends. Very controlled input. It's plain as day. Whether or not they have had input directly or indirectly through friends. It's still cooperating, isn't it? Whether you do it yourself or via a friend, you are still steering the narrative on what you want to say. And unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, that is input. No matter how much they sugarcoat it and deny it, they still have had indirect involvement. Controlling the narrative of this book. The snippets that I have read this morning, one thing is clear. They are throwing the royal family, William and Kate, the courtiers, under the bus and completely pointing the finger at their direction, saying, you caused this. We had to leave because of you. You did it all. You didn't make us feel welcome. You didn't let us do our own thing. You wouldn't let us set up our own court. You refused us at every turn. So therefore, we want to take control. We want our lives back. And therefore, we're leaving. This is the whole problem, is that they haven't really left, have they? Because they are still leaning on those titles to get exactly what they want. If life was so hard within the royal family and caused such anguish as it has been painted to have done, then surely you would want nothing more to do with anything, and you wouldn't want to hold on to those titles and the money that comes directly from Charles, which is the royal family. So you still have your part to play. I want to ask you a question. Now, this book is coming out mid-August, and it is very heavy on the blame game towards the royal family. If they didn't have any input into this book whatsoever, and if it wasn't true, why are they not suing? And we know why. It's because it's painting them into such a sycophantical light that it's almost blinding. The authors have boasted that it had been written with the participation of those closest to Harry and Meghan. And we all know, or we've all heard the rumour of who is Omid's ex-partner. I can't really say the name because Lady Colin Campbell did, and she was asked to remove that particular part of her YouTube video. Guilty conscience, much? If they had so much to complain about, then it's on them personally. You have to give respect to gain respect. I've been brought up with that philosophy. You can't expect respect if you don't give it back, and vice versa. So if they didn't show any respect to the other royal family members, then why on earth should they show respect back? Now, No Good Will Come of It on Twitter made an excellent point about the whole Commonwealth Day debacle and being so frosty. They said it wasn't just Kate, it was William and Sophie too. I loved Sophie when she shot that look at Madam. So yet again they blame Kate. The snub was real hurt at what the pair of them did to the royal family because they thought they were bigger. She hates Kate as she will be queen consort. I don't blame the family for being angry at Meghan. She has blamed Kate and William for not welcoming her. She spread rumours about them, etc. She smirked the whole way through the ceremony and thought she was off to live the high life in LA and that she had won. But life had other plans. I think that sums it up beautifully. So well done. No good will come of it. I applaud your comment. Now, there will be more extracts, I am sure, popping up this weekend. So when they do, I will do videos and I will comment on them. What I will say is that at the moment, you may have noticed that I'm slightly uploading less videos. That's purely for my own mental health right now. I'm getting a lot of flack on Twitter. For me, it's just a little bit of trying to control the narrative and control my mental health. So I needed to do this video because I think it was really, really important to get this out there as quickly as I could because I was so shocked. I don't know why I was shocked because I knew it was coming. I knew that it was going to be a sycophantical hagiography. It's not a biography. It's just simply just a load of word salad slathered on top of each other that has been controlled by two people pulling the strings because they want to look like the golden people. And everybody's going to lap it up on that particular side. I feel so sorry for the royal family to be put through this yet again. What do you think they're feeling towards all of this book and how it paints them in an extremely negative light? I just feel so sorry for the Queen. It's her grandson that's doing all of this. Will you be reading it? I suppose I've got to, really, haven't I? As always, I would love to know your thoughts on everything that I have covered in this video. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the notification bell and also that like button. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of my followers for all the tips and all the emails, DMs that everybody sends to me. It really is greatly appreciated. So thank you very much for watching once again.